They also heard that the people of Qabil had made some advancements. So some of the young men from the people of Sheath decided to go see for themselves. They came from their mountainous residence and down towards the valleys. They went only to investigate from a distance and had no intention in mixing with them. But what they found captivated them. They heard sounds which they had never heard before. Throughout the history of mankind, Allah has sent many prophets, and some of them were messengers. He sent a messenger to every nation, and they came one after another, with many generations between them. Allah chose to report to us the stories of some of these great prophets and messengers, and these are the best of stories. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you are interested in the prophetic stories revealed in the Quran and narrated by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, delivered in storytelling format, then that's what we do here. So if that's something that you like, then make sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications so that you don't miss any of our new uploads. Let's go ahead and get into today's story.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس قال أأسجد لمن خلقت طينا قال أرأيتك هذا الذي كرمت علي لئن أخرتني إلى يوم القيامة لأحتنكن ذريته إلا قليلا قال اذهب فمن تبعك منهم فإن جهنم جزاؤكم جزاء موفورا واستفزز من استطعت منهم بصوتك وأجلب عليهم بخيلك ورجلك وشاركهم في الأموال والأولاد وعدهم وما يعدهم الشيطان إلا غرورا إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان وكفى بربك وكيلا ربكم الذي يزجي لكم الفلك في البحر لتبتغوا من فضله إنه كان بكم رحيما.
After the loss of Habil and Qabil, Adam prayed and prayed. And after some time, Allah gifted Adam with a son who was named Sheath, also known as Seth. And Sheath grew up to be a very pious and righteous young man. Adam appointed Sheath as his successor, and Sheath later took over the responsibilities of prophethood after Adam passed away. Allah sent down 104 Psalms, and 50 of them were revealed to Sheath. Sheath ruled over everyone with justice in accordance with the laws of Allah and maintained unity between his people. He would continue to remind them of their history and origin, as his father used to do. Allah then revealed to Sheath that it was prohibited for his people to mix with the people from the valleys and flatlands. These were the people of Qabil, and they had grown large in numbers. Qabil's descendants of men were unattractive, while his descendants of women were very attractive. And although they all believed in Allah, they all inherited Qabil's negative traits and characteristics. As for the people of Sheath, their men were very handsome, while their women were unattractive. This was how you could distinguish apart the people of Sheath from the people of Qabil. And due to the compliance from the people of Sheath in abstaining from mixing with the people of Qabil as Allah commanded, a great degree of problems were prevented, but only for some time. Eventually, Shaytan developed a plot and came to the people of Qabil in the form of a handsome young man. He asked for employment and to live amongst them. The people of Qabil were convinced that he must be a defector from the people of Sheath, so they agreed to help him. After Shaytan was living amongst them for some time, he gathered some tools and began making sounds. Sounds they have never heard before. This sound attracted an audience, and the people of Qabil started to gather around him to listen. Shaytan introduced them to music. And little by little, Shaytan was making more instruments and playing music with it while they continued to gather around him in excitement. Shaytan used music to capture their hearts and control their emotions. The more they enjoyed the music, the less remembrance they had of Allah, as well as following His commands. In time, the people developed a tradition that they would set a time once a week every Saturday evening for music and entertainment. The people of Qabil were now on cruise control, and Shaytan turned his attention to the people of Sheath. He whispered to them and caused doubts in their minds until they began to question why they were even prohibited from mixing with the people of Qabil anyway. They're all family after all, aren't they? They also heard that the people of Qabil had made some advancements. So some of the young men from the people of Sheath decided to go see for themselves. They came from their mountainous residence and down towards the valleys. They went only to investigate from a distance and had no intention in mixing with them. But what they found captivated them. They heard sounds which they had never heard before and saw the most beautiful women they've ever seen. While watching the women dance, the young men decided to get a closer look. And as they were sneaking to get closer, some of the women saw them. The women of Qabil saw the most handsome men they've ever seen, spying on them. So the women began displaying their beauty to attract them. The men eventually came out from hiding and introduced themselves, then began to mingle with them. It was so new and different to them. They returned to their mountainous regions and reported to some of the other men what they witnessed and experienced. This piqued so much interest that before you know it, a larger group of men were going to the valleys to see for themselves. Now more men from the people of Sheath were mixing and mingling with the people of Qabil. The environment was so intoxicating. The men of Sheath were led from temptation to immorality, until it escalated from music and partying to each of them quietly going off and committing adultery with the women of Qabil. When the time of Sheath's death came near, he appointed his son Anush to be his successor. Anush was later succeeded by his son Qinan, claiming that Mahlabil was the king of the 7 regions, and that he was the first one to cut down trees to build cities and large forts, as well as build the cities of Babylonia. He reigned for a period of 40 years. When he died, his duties were taken over by his son Yard, who on his death bequeathed them to his son Khunuh, known as Idris alayhi salam, also biblically known as Enoch, according to the majority of scholars. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel right now and turn on all notifications so that you don't miss any of our new uploads. And if you see value in this content, then be sure to support us on Spotify or Patreon for as little as $1 a month or more. It helps us continue to put out quality content. We'll be taking a short break after this episode to create visual content, so hang tight and we'll be seeing you again soon, inshallah. Jazakallahu khairan everyone for tuning in. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.